Hi, and welcome back to 5 Minute Facts with Caroline. Today, we're going to talk about bank accounts. There are many different bank accounts, but we're just going to talk about the basic ones. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an overview about the checking account and the savings account. The checking account is for day-to-day transaction. You can have your salary as a direct deposit come in, but you can also pay bills out. You can set up auto pay, so there's different options on doing that. You can deposit checks. You can also write checks on it. You can transfer money to other accounts and other people. You can make withdrawals through the ATM, and you can link a debit card. So it usually comes with a debit card to it, and it's linked with your checking account. The savings account, on the other hand, is to keep your money separate from your checking account. It's not usually linked to your checking account, although you could technically do that. So you definitely want to look into those options. It's also not linked to a debit card or credit card. The savings account offers generally higher interest rates, APYs, than checking accounts. About the APY here, there will be a different video about that where I talk about interest in general, about the APY, and then also about the APR. And there will also be a different video where we're going to talk about the common acronyms, like in the financial field, but also commonly used ones in the United States. So definitely stay tuned for those videos as well. They are going to come in the next weeks. The savings account is also for saving and storing money, but in a safer account. And it's a little bit safer because it's just not connected to a debit card. You have different options to get those accounts. You can either have it online with an online bank or with a brick and mortar bank. Both usually include online banking and apps where you can also do everything online. But both of those banking options have different pros and cons. So let's talk about those. The pro of an online bank is that it usually offers lower fees, it has higher interest rates, and it has low or no deposit to open a bank account. The cons to online banks are that they usually have limited services, they have a lack of personal interaction, they don't have a storefront, of course, and they usually require an SSN or an ITIN number. So SSN or ITIN numbers, there will also be a video on those identification numbers. And again, they will appear in the acronyms used in America. The brick and mortar pros would be the personal service, the person-to-person interaction. Then you also can cash deposit easier because you just would walk into the bank and just go to the teller and deposit your cash. There are storefront branches all over the United States, so you actually have a building you can walk into. And some of those don't require SSNs or ITIN numbers, which is especially for new immigrants very helpful. The cons to those, although, they usually come with higher fees and lower interest rates, and they usually require a cash deposit to open the accounts. Of course, they have higher fees and lower interest rates because somehow they have to pay their buildings, they have to pay their people. The requirements in most cases to open bank accounts are two forms of IDs. For example, a passport, a driver's license, a credit debit card with your name on it. You also need a proof of residency or income. That could be a job offer letter or apartment lease. It could also be an electronic bill. Like I said before, there most likely is a direct deposit in a certain amount, and it's usually in cash, especially when you go to a brick and mortar bank. You need a physical address, you will need a US phone number, and then, of course, in the best case scenario, you would have a social security number or an ITIN number in your permanent residence card, or of course you're a citizen, then that helps too. If you have all those requirements and you can actually open a bank account, then you want to ask certain questions to actually make sure that you clarify everything before you get that. Of course, the requirements to open the bank accounts. Does the bank offer a virtual debit card to already get you started? That is especially important if you a new immigrant and you, for example, also apply for an apartment and they will need an electricity setup. You will need an American debit or credit card already to actually pay for that electricity. So with a virtual debit card that is offered with some banks, you can already use a debit card with that checking account you just opened, which is super handy if you have to set something else up. Does it offer any special perks or like offers, like bonuses, reward programs, or certain interest rates? You want to know that, of course, beforehand. And then also the account fees and requirements to keep the account free. So sometimes accounts would actually not be free, but if you have a certain maintaining balance in it, or if you have a monthly direct deposit, then they waive the fee for you. So you definitely want to make sure that you know that beforehand and you don't have any bad surprises later on. There might also be ATM and withdrawal fees or fees for money transfers, usually not necessarily between people or accounts, but for example, if you're an immigrant and you wanted to transfer some money from your country, then that might have certain fees on it. There will also be a video about like how to transfer your money best. A few more tips. Don't overdraft your accounts. There might be very high interest and fees might apply as well. So please make sure that you don't overdraft your accounts. That means that you don't go into a negative balance with it. Protect your account and routing number. Don't just share it with everybody. Like your account and routing number is like super, super important. And you only want to share it with, for example, your employer, that they can transfer your salary to it. Same thing with the debit card. It is connected to your bank account. So please make sure that you don't just lose it somewhere or you lend it to somebody, because they could definitely withdraw money off of your account. Be aware of scams. There are a lot of scammers out there. Zelle, for example, is one of those person-to-person transfer options. There are a lot of people using Zelle and also a lot of scammers using Zelle. So make sure that you know the person you're actually going to transfer money to, or that you are in the same room, like with the person you send money to. Don't just send money to strangers. Transfer from your checking account to your savings account are usually unlimited and free. The other way around, although, so from your savings account back to your checking account, there might be a limit, like a certain amount every month you can actually do. If you exceed that, the bank will charge you for a fee for every additional transaction or withdrawal. So definitely make sure that you know if there is a certain amount every month, so if you're limited or not. And then read through the documents you receive, and if you have any questions, go back and ask your banker. Like that is their job. Like that's their job to give you all the expertise they have. You can ask any questions. There are no stupid questions. The only stupid questions there are the ones that are not asked. So please, please, please don't be shy. Go and ask all the questions. It's your money, it's your life, it's your future. That was it for me for today. If you liked this content and my video, please share, like, and of course subscribe. Also share it with the people you might know and you think that would be helpful as well for. So please tell them and tell them to subscribe as well so that they don't miss out on any further information. Thanks for watching and have a great day.